I'll start with you, Prakarsh, if you can, I understand that, you've been very passionate about financial sector, and, you started your career from there, and, you kind of hail through this year. I would like to start something that really values the organization, wherein Jack Welch has once said that, strategy is simply the resource allocation. And, when you strip away all the noises around in the organization, that's what it, kind of comes down to. So it means that, you make clear-cut choices about how to compete in the market, how to start. And, but you cannot get everything, and you cannot answer everybody's questions, no matter what your size is. So what strategies, what choices really helped you, since you've been involved right from the very beginning, and you've granted some USPs in 5paisa.com. So how it has really helped you reach where you are today?
So thanks Ashita for having me. A very good morning, everyone. Very good morning, Gaurav, to you too. So Ashita, as you said, we started our journey around 2015. Just to correct two numbers, you said we have got 5 lakh customers. Now we are 7 lakh plus, and as we speak, we have more than 5 million app users from 4.1. So yeah, coming back to the way we started. See, broking predominantly was a brick and mortar business. You had branches, then you have relationship managers, then there are customers, they need advice, and then you provide research. And then there was online, obviously there was online thing where people can do it on mobile or their web platform and all. But when we started, there were 2-3 issues that we identified. One was, it was, despite being online, it was predominantly offline. And the industry was offline, but people were moving towards mobile app behavior. So, because online shopping had already kicked in, and it was there as a norm. So people had moved towards mobile. Broking as an industry had not. And still there were a lot of perceptions that, you need to provide research, you need to have an advice, there has to be someone calling customer, handholding. So we said, these are what it is right now. Let's focus on something which is not there, and which is, let people do everything on their own, and let's we not be the exact same player that others are. So how did we break the clutter? We said, there are multiple platforms, do away with multiple platform, mobile is the platform. So we focused all our energies on mobile. Second, we said that, there are people who give research, and there are relationship managers and branches. We said we won't have it. So we removed all this, and what it came out is that you can still give entire suite of services at a very low cost. The moment you do a low cost, it attracts a lot of people who are not coming to capital markets. So who are the people who are not coming to capital markets? Tier 2, Tier 3, young people who had less money to invest, and they had no knowledge. So they had fear. So all these were people, and that constitutes almost 95% of the population, right? So we said that let's target 95% people, and let's not target the 5% smart guys who already know everything. So what it required? It required a mobile app. It required very simple execution. Make it something that the dumbest person on the planet can understand. Make it so cheap that people feel that cost is irrelevant. So, and we had case studies. We had the cost of dialing a mobile phone. We had a case study. Now internet. So we know that whenever the costs come down, the acceptability of people goes manifold. So we focused on that, and that is the reason, and that was the strategy that we adopted, which has got us where we are today. We have one of the highest mobile app users. I said 5 million users. We have one of the highest, more than the industry veterans who are there for last 15-20 years, right? We are one of the fastest growing broking company in the country. We have attracted, our average age of our investors is approximately 27, 28. So these are young guys. We attract more than 70% of the customers come from Tier 3 and beyond. So we have moved from the big cities like Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. We have moved away from that. And almost 80% of our business happens on mobile app. So this was the strategy we adopted 5 years back, and today where we are on these.
Okay, that's a very interesting thing. So, there's another thing from here. So it means that it is, it is normally said that in a trading industry, you would have people only who've been trading earlier. So
Yeah.
from this, do I say that you have more young entrepreneurs who are not from the industry than the people who are from the industry?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, when we started, we thought that, we should have more partners and franchise and people who are, but franchise in broking was something you need to have your office. There was a deposit which was required to be taken by broker. And then there were regulations around it. You had to, complete the documentation and become a proprietary or a partnership company. Then you need to have trading terminal. You need to have an employee who trades there, who's certified. So there were a lot of norms. We said, all that is not needed. We will take care of that. So we went and approached people who are young, who said that, okay, there were two sets of people that we approached. One who said that I am working, I am in a job, I need additional income. And then there were people who said that I don't have a job, I don't want a job, I want to do my own business, but I know digital, I know online, I know how YouTube works, how Facebook works. I understand technology, but I want to do my own business. So we cater to the second part of the people more, who are freshers, who are new. So they understood technology, they understood social media, they understood power of online, but they did not know broking. So we helped them understand broking, and then they started working for us. So at this point in time, almost 40-50% of the partners that we have were new and fresher. They did not have any background of being into broking. But today they call themselves as veteran of broking because they have spent considerable amount.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very interesting take, So so how does it really happen? So when you take somebody on board, you take them through a rigorous training, or it's an ongoing training that you prefer with them?
See, for us, what we've done is we don't go by traditional methods like training and like people-driven training. We have created videos and we do webinars and we have a lot of blogs and a lot of text material written on our website which people see. And our videos are all in Hindi. So we typically try and create videos in Hindi, local language, and simple 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute videos. And what we focus is that the biggest barrier for people is that I am not from a finance industry. I don't know finance. So that's a hesitation. We say, you don't need to know finance. What you need to know is you need to bring customers on our platform. How do you bring it? You talk about platform. So again, there is a video available on our platform that why choose 5paisa, why trade with 5paisa, why open account with 5paisa. So you take material from there. Then you have to teach people how to open an account, which is simple KYC. There are a couple of documents. Everyone knows that there is a PAN card, there is an Aadhaar, and there is a signature e-sign required. So there are 3-4 simple steps. Again, we have a video for that. So when people know that, okay, fine, what I need to sell is a brand which has got video of its own on the site, then I need to sell the account opening process, and I need to talk about the features of the mobile app, which is anyways there on the public platform. If I stitch these 3 things together, create videos and put it on my site, do a comparison of some other brokers or some platform and all that, and that my business is started. It's as simple. So maybe 3-4 learning videos, one my own creation, and I put it on my YouTube channel or my Facebook channel, my Insta channel, and that's where I begin my journey. So it is as simple.
Very interesting. I think this is a what I call a last mile entrepreneur development, which means that you can actually empower people who can work from anything and give them tools which are do-it-yourself tools, and they can all get started and get empowered. And I think there are not many opportunities I would know which would be there in the market which can empower this. So it's a very intelligent thinking.
Yeah.
And especially with the whole digital economy, this can become a huge opportunity. While it will put some pressure on the ticket value, because you're one side going younger and second side going tier 3, tier 4, which means
Correct.
that the average investment size would be low. But my fundamental says that even if you have a very low ticket size, the country, looking at the population and the penetration in this country, the volume can itself take care of everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because and see, and I mean, we did not plan for what we are going through now. But if you see today's last 3 months, it is a proof of concept for what we were talking about in terms of digital. That do it yourself, make it virtual. So we said that you don't need office, you don't need people, you don't need investment. What are we doing today? We all are sitting at home, right? The only thing which is working today is internet and electricity. So there are two things which are I have a laptop or a mobile phone. So if I have these three things, I don't need anything, right? I can do my own business. And fortunately, stock markets are working, banking is working. So that has not stopped. So these are the businesses which have thrived. So I think anyone who is looking to start a business, I think it's the right time. And if we all have got that jolt that we wanted, that leave. So everything is uncertain, life is uncertain. Leave things which you were doing for ages and adopt new things. And so there are students, there are children who are studying online virtually. We never thought of. There are businesses who are doing online. There are these kind of webinars we do and we interact online. We always thought that physical meeting is the thing, especially if you're an old entrepreneur, you want people to be around you, seeing you. But today, we are sitting in 3 corners of the country and talking to each other. So I think virtual world is far more connected than real world. And you don't need anything. So if you want to start a business, you have lesser money, don't worry. You just need a mobile phone, an internet connection, some research and understanding of your of the business that you're getting into, and you are good to go. You're absolutely good to go.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Nobody more than I feel I wasted my last 15, 20 years just traveling 20, 25 days every month and going and doing. Maybe in the day I used to struggle and start in the morning, 8 o'clock meetings till 8 o'clock in the evening, and only end up doing 15 meetings, right? And these days we are able to reach out 10,000 people in a day, and in a single hour of doing your webinars, like now we are on Facebook Live, this would go to the entire 3 lakh Facebook followers of Franchiseindia. So this all is very new to all of us, and we look like wasted a lot of times and earning only miles. So we were, and these miles are also not redeemable now.
Absolutely.
What needs to be done? So I have a question. It's when you empower so many people, and what I've realized that people quickly get into these kind of opportunities, but their engagement level is very low.
Yeah.
So what do you do for creating their engagement levels? Because a lot of dropouts happen anyway in financial services. This is a problem that if you have, say, 1,000 people joining as a franchisee, you will end up finding in the first year itself 50% is gone.
Right.
Because engagement level in the whole financial world is a big problem. And now when you do it on a virtual and or a mobile phone, they would get into, because they always thought that this was a paying business, but eventually they will drop out equally faster. So what are you doing on the engagement side?
Yeah. So, and you mean engagement for our partners, right?
For partners, yeah, that's right. So,
see, so first let us understand why people drop off. One is that when they start, everyone has all of us want to earn money instantly. So the moment I put a YouTube video, I want thousands of people to see it, and then I get leads and I get accounts and I get money. But in the real world, it doesn't happen like that, right? In real world, what happens is when you are putting a video or some post, there has to be some uniqueness. What is that uniqueness? So we try and engage with our partners and understand and tell them that, what is that you bring to the table for your viewer? Are you talking about maybe charts, technical analysis, investing, wealth creation? What are you going to talk about? Or you're going to compare, you say, I don't want to do anything, but I just want to compare few brokers and just give out my opinion on which broker is. So we list down some 10, 12 things. They say, okay, you have to choose one among these. And then you have to consistently go out and communicate with your users. It is only the consistency and your communication, your correlation with your users, which will help you and first increase the community. So if I am a YouTuber, the only thing I can do is I can put out videos. And if I am on one subject and I come back again and again and again and again, talk about one subject, I actually end up increasing my community. The moment I increase my community, that's when people start trusting me, and that's when I start getting business. So we engage with people on providing content. But then after, but I again, I accept that there are a lot of people, a good percentage of people who say that, okay, fine, I am not understanding anything. So those are the people who move out. But that's okay. I mean, that's part of the game, because not everyone will understand finance in a way. There are some people who are bent towards travel. There's some people who are bent towards fashion. So they go there. But what are left, then those are the people who then become very strong, and then they scale up. So I think from our end, how do we engage? We engage, one, on providing content. Second, on also help create content. One is I give you an idea and then I leave it to you. But we also help. Okay, fine. If you want to do a YouTube video, I'll put my creative team behind you to create a good video. If you want to write something, I can help you with that. So these are the engagement things that we help our partners with.
That's very
initial handholding. Once they get the feel of it, then they are on their own.
And then also, I think there can be a good opportunity. We have done it for many companies, where if you have the success stories of some of these partners, and that peer-to-peer learning becomes even bigger. So if one teaches that, look, how I use these platforms and able to make my living out of it, and I was able to do that, which happens a lot of time in the direct sales kind of functions, where the whole people live by example, right? So if they are somebody are successful, and then they would actually teach others how to be successful in that. So that would start triggering up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
True. Very interesting. So how does, of course, this is interesting. So you've taken some strategic steps, and, you've involved the young community, and you try and engage, for them to be there on your platform, and, keep working with the company. So how do you define, within the company, as to what do you stand for, in terms of culture? Culture and strategy goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So how do you, what is important to you as a company, as a CEO, who represent and who stands for, and how do you translate that to your partner so that, he communicates the same thing to your consumer? So my question to you is two-faced. One, of course, how do you maintain that in terms of the culture of the company, and how do you transfer on to that to your consumers in terms of their own experience?
So Ashita, as I said, that our focus has been to attract a customer, an investor who is new to the industry, who has never invested. So that has been our focus internally and also externally. How do we do it internally? So it means that I have to build processes, product, everything for that smallest guy sitting in some small village of the country who doesn't understand. So I have to make it simple, make it in local language, to be served very easily. So my app has to be extremely easy to download. Even the size of the app that you download has to be lesser, because what if someone is downloading at a 3G network? So internally, I have to build a culture that if someone doesn't know anything, he should be able to come to our platform and open Demat account and invest. So that's my culture internally. Externally, how do I communicate? I communicate by keeping prices low, because then the price, all of us are price conscious as Indians. So I have to keep my price low. I have to have my communication very clear. I can't offer 100 things like brokers. If you go to, for example, if you go to a bank's site, or the bank's website is so cluttered because there are hundreds of products a bank offers. What that makes is, it makes confusion for someone who doesn't understand it. So I said, we will not provide everything. We will only provide 1 or 2 or 3 things. Third, I have to have so our strategy was that anything that can be digitally done, I will only get involved in that. I will not sell a single product where it requires a single explanation. So I don't sell an insurance product which requires explanation, right? I don't sell home loans. It requires documentation. We sell only product which people can do it themselves, end-to-end digitally, without a paperwork, without any person. So these strategies and these culture that we have created internally, because there is always a fascination towards a financial product that, okay, let's sell this. It might get us revenue. But then again, we go back to the same question. Whether it solves 99, whether it will attract 99% of the customers, whether it will be very simple to understand, whether it can be done digitally. If the answer of either of these three are no, we said no, irrespective of how lucrative it is. So that is what we have done it internally. That is what we communicate to partners. That the always focus on what customer wants. I mean, I am no Steve Jobs to understand that what people are wanting, but they are not asking. But that requires a genius. We are not. But at least we say, okay, like people want, like it's a Google strategy. They want simple things. If you go to Google, you won't find an advertisement. You won't find a cluttered website. People want it simple. So keep it. People get confused when you give 2-3 options. Don't give options. There's just one thing. Even as smallest thing as opening an account. So now it becomes a norm, but 5 years back, opening an account with any financial intermediary used to take 3 days, 4 days, 7 days. There were paperwork, 18 to 20 signatures. Even if it is online, there was like huge there was a long form. You need to fill that 20, 30 details. Was not thought through that what should come one after another. We have worked almost 4 years to get there. So these are very small, minute things that you take care internally as well as externally to attract to the target audience that you have. And the way your then partners also imbibe the same thing.
True. Yeah. Very interesting. I really appreciate the clarity of thought that you have for your target segment. I think that's really appreciable, and that is how you've been able to get them on board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think in franchising, we use this 4 fits, and I think you clarified. So one is what we call, if you have a strategic call, do a strategic fit first. And on that, you do 3 fits, which is the financial fit, the operational fit, and the marketing fit. And all 3 fits would actually then come on very easily, and your call is very clearly anything which is not digital, anything which doesn't have a mass reach, which means that it reaches to everybody. And so these are, if they don't qualify, then the other fits have no meaning.
Absolutely.
So, one thing is very interesting that you have an absolute clarity of thought of how you want to take things further. So how does it really boils down to a relationship that you share with your franchise partners? I'm sure, all your franchise partners would not be that old. They'll be very young. Yeah. But having said that, to address a community of young people who also have an entrepreneur mindset like yours, sometimes, get hazy in terms of asking them to follow certain things, that company follows. How do you maintain that balance with them?
So, see, I think more than what I say or I want to say, I think for me, numbers speak for itself. So the only way we communicate with partners is, one is, as Gaurav said, you create a success story. So I have partners who started with giving us only 3 accounts, 5 accounts in a month. And what they were earning was like 2,000, 3,000 rupees. And then we said, okay, because what happens is, in our case, you can also share brokerage, but brokerage takes time to mature. You won't get on day 0. But then we created success stories that people who started with just having 4,000-5,000 rupees a month went on to get like 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees a month, because that's the investment that they did. So for any partner to get a sustainable income over a period of time, you need to invest 2 things. One, your time. Time is the biggest investment that you do. And second is your investment in building your community. So these are 2 things that you need to invest, and you have to give some time. People will come to you if you have a good content. So then you are investing in your understanding your customer, building content. And then once they believe you, then they start getting associated with the company that you are associated with. So if I'm a partner of 5paisa, I come and say that, okay, for example, I am someone who guides people for investments, like a charts. So I talk about charts, I talk about pattern. And then I say that, okay, I have a association with 5paisa Capital. You can open your Demat account with them, and you can trade exactly on the same charts that I am training you on. Now, if you do that, and then if I am very, very clear in my communication, then people will get associated, trade, and then I can get revenue. And then if I give 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, I'm telling you, you will make far, far more money than what you could have done if had you chosen being an employee or maybe some other business. So this is the only way I see for partners to have a balance, and then also grow.
And this is so relevant in these times, because people want flexibility of working. They want a low cost, low capex, low opex kind of involvement,
Yeah,
and self empowerment, and they can do that. I think this is so relevant. Your business certainly become very, very relevant for a lot of people who can find a new career option. And they have also a lot of migration has happened because people have moved from bigger cities and gone to the small cities. Rather, we are running a program these days, business from your hometown.
yeah,
So it means that people, if they have gone to their hometowns, they don't want to
absolutely.
come back because they've suddenly become more nostalgic about the life they had back there and in the smaller cities.
Yeah,
And at least for 6 7 months or 1 year 2 years, this is not coming back. And this is
correct.
a great opportunity because digitally we are empowered. Digitally everywhere we are connected, and if people can give very strong digital businesses like what you've created, and I think this can empower real India.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, today we have broken geographical barriers. I mean, so as we speak, half of my team is not in the cities that we are present. We were in Bombay, Bangalore, Ahmedabad. Half of them are there at their homes, but all of them are working. We are all are connected. We do our routine web calls. So, no, we are all virtually connected. So geographical barrier has broken. So as we said, you have a mobile phone, internet, and you're working.
Yeah, it's absolutely a new way, and so I wonder sometimes a lot of these commercial offices we build on, what are we going to do for them?
I am worried too on that, by the way. I'm worried too.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on going from brick and mortar to virtual. But we definitely believe in hybrid things now, so both will work for sure. But there's another thing that is coming to my mind. How do you manage the experience of consumers in terms of their life cycle? I'm sure you would help your franchisees in terms of maintaining the number of consumers that they have acquired. But how do you maintain their experience? Because obviously it has to be seamless. I understand that it's digital, but still, how do you take them through that life cycle of being with you and you only?
Experience and building the experience for partners, you're saying?
I'm saying for consumers, so your partner is actually
Okay.
a connecting point in between yourself
Correct.
and the
Yeah,
consumer. So
correct.
how do you maintain the consumer life cycle?
Oh,
Having said that,
see,
he's in between.
absolutely. So, as a consumer or an investor, what exactly are you looking for when you come to stock market to invest? You have to create wealth. That there is no other way. You are investing money. You want to get returns out of that money. So how do we then engage with our end customer? Is one, we provide a platform which is easy to execute and simple in terms of cost. Then we also provide digitally research tools, because if I have to invest, what I need is guidance. That if I know that where I have to invest, I might do myself, or then I need some guidance in terms of research. So we provide a lot of research advisory tools. But again, these are all digital. There is no person who calls and says, "Ki, sir, aaj ye kharid lo aur ye bech lo." No, we don't do that. But it's all there on your app. You pay to get that subscription, and you pay it and you get research. You don't pay it, you say that I will manage my own research, I will do it myself. That's okay. Then we only charge our trading fee, which is 20 rupees an order. But if you want research, then we provide research. Then the second engagement is moving on, that once you are there into equities, you are there into mutual fund, you may have some other requirement. So then we started a product which is gold. Now, gold is something that we don't have to explain, you should invest in gold. But we said that let us understand the problem of investing in gold. If you do it physically, you need more money, because the least that you can buy is a 1 gram coin, which will cost you at least 3,000, 4,000 rupees now. But so that becomes a entry barrier. Second, the physical aspect, you need to go to a store. So we then partnered with someone and we started selling digital gold. So as low as 10 rupees, 50 rupees, you can buy a gold. So then that is the second engagement that we did with our consumer. Third, that we said, okay, then there are investors, there are also people who need loan. So then we got into personal loans. Now we are an NBFC which provides peer-to-peer lending. So when it is peer-to-peer lending, you have at one end our own customers who can invest or lend, and there are our own customers who can borrow. So we got these two. So that's how we started engaging with our existing user, so that we create an ecosystem of investing product and they stick to us. And anything apart from equity, we don't charge money. That's absolutely free of cost for them. So it's only trading and research is what we charge. The rest, everything is available to them. And second is that everything is there on the mobile app. So you don't have to go out. So this is how we have, we've tried to create an ecosystem of financial products to engage customers.
Sure. And I think so, yeah, so that's great. So it helps you standardize things and maintain the life cycle of people and learning from one side to the other. So I think that's something which is, yeah, that's something which is commendable. So how do you, invest into talent development? So I understand that, a franchisee is there with you and he's, there in touch with the consumers, but how do you help him to take his earning, as you said, that they go from probably a 2,000 rupee to a 5-6 lakh rupee a month, but does that happen with majority of them? So how do you invest in terms of their talent development?
So I'll be honest, it doesn't happen with most of them because of various reasons. Some things which are not in our control. The partners need to be serious. They need to have that talent of engaging people. Some people need to have a good communication if they are, especially on social media. But if you have your own website, then obviously the content of website is also very important. So there are various factors. Not everyone go to the level that I am saying, but yeah, people manage around 50,000, 1 lakh rupees a month. There are a lot of people who are in that range, which is, I think, if I look at from a tier 3 and beyond perspective, I think that's a good income and very less cost. Practically, there is no cost, right? So there are a lot of people in this range. But how do we help them? Is I have a small team. I have a team with me who are continuously in touch with these with our partners. We have created an online platform where they can see their business, how it is happening. We share creative content with them, saying that, okay, fine, this is what you can post. Then we also help them that, okay, this content helped you in getting more maybe clicks on your platform or views on your platform, or maybe leads. So I think this is working. You should put more. We help them also run some contests or some some offers for a certain time. So there are these few activities that we do to engage with our partners. But what is the most important thing is the offering of a partner to a customer. If I today go out and just say that, okay, fine, open an account with 5 paisa, and because I'm saying, so no one is going to come to me, because who am I to say, right? The most important point is the differentiator, what I bring to the table. If I bring some value to the table and people like to listen to me, or they like to read about me on my website or on my blog, that's where they will engage. And we also help people mostly on that. And people who are successful are only because of this point. And people who are not successful are also because of this point.
Yeah, true. That's an interesting take. So somebody who believes in it will do it, and you'll keep on going back to them for their own development. That ultimately, of course, would help them grow. Yeah. So that's been a that's been a so-called tiff-in between a franchisor and a franchisee, and that's like an ongoing thing that keeps going on. But I think if you're able to maintain a balance in between both of these things, it really helps both of them grow, and that's a true relationship, that Correct. We say.
Correct. And for a franchise, the more there's an important thing for a franchise, that see, every one of us are there to earn money, but if you make that as your motive, then you will never end up making money, right? What you need to do as a franchise or as a business or as an entrepreneur is provide a solution to a problem for a customer, for a consumer. Either it is a product that I sell. So if the problem is that I don't have that product, then I become a facilitator of that product or that particular service. Or if someone doesn't know anything, then I try to help him understand, and that's how I start earning. So though your motive is to earn money, but don't make that as your offering. I think that's a simple message for people who want to become entrepreneurs, take franchisee and grow.
Yeah. I think you're on mute.
So in franchising, we say that there should be always a policy for companies, especially for companies like yours. It says recruit quantity and retain quality, which means that you need to continue to do it, because there is no way you can stop people who are interested in stock market and they want to become an entrepreneur and they want to join a brand like yours. And but the function should be that it should churn itself and find the quality ones who would stick around, are committed. They understand that this is an operator model, which means that unless and you put your time, and we call the time return on engagement, and this is no more a return on investment business. So you don't bring in any investment. It's a return on engagement. If you engage with the company and you continue to uplift your learning levels, then you will become a successful entrepreneur. And rather than being an isolated trader, you are working with something which has all the tools.
Correct.
So tools are only 50%. 50% is your entrepreneurial ability, which you need to bring in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's an interesting take. So you get more when you're involved more into your businesses. So what, having said that, we all know what, we've gone through in past 3-4 months, and it really has helped you in terms of the transition that you wanted to make to mobile apps. But overall as business, we understand that financial services as a sector has grown because the investment overall has grown. So how it has impacted you as a company and as a brand?
So, I mean, see, the last 3 months have been a very different scenario. On one hand, you have a pandemic, the entire, the country or the world has come to a standstill. There are questions about economy, earning, job losses, and there's a lot of negativity there. But what has happened in stock market in the last 3 months is completely opposite. I don't know whether there is a reason because everyone was at home, people were trading, but then lot and lots of customers who have come for the first time to capital market. So March, April, May, June, 4 months have been the highest demat account openings for the industry across India, even globally, even in US. The people who have come and opened, the likes of demat account there has gone through roof. Why? There can be a lot of reasons for that. But what I see is that when you have a fear of uncertainty in terms of money, in terms of life, suddenly you become very cautious about saving, investing, creating wealth, right? These are the thoughts that people come across, that what if tomorrow I don't earn? I won't have money to run my house. So I need to save. I need to invest. I need to make more money of my saving. This is what has happened. And that has brought a huge customers to broking. We ourselves have doubled in last 4 months in terms of our customer base, in terms of, everything. Our people, our team, our infrastructure, everything has gone up. Stock markets have gone up. Returns, stock markets have gone up like 45-50% from the bottom in March. So there is a different behavior what is happening. And for one, this behavior is good. Why it is good? Because one, it gives, young people are not very, they feel investing and all the traditional thing is very boring. They're more of Instas and Facebooks and Snapchat kind of world, or TikToks. Now it's banned, but yeah. So we are that world. We are not investing money, finance. People don't like young guys. But suddenly people have realized that yes, this is important. So that's the one good thing, that you go back to saving and invest. The second good thing is that when you invest at a lower rate, and when things go up, you make money. And then when you make money, you get confidence. That okay, fine, this is good. I can do more. And that's how the culture of investing in stock markets comes. So these are two good things which have happened to industry as a whole. We as a brand, because we are a digital brand, have grown more than 100% in last 4 months. So, that has benefited us. And even our existing partners who are associated with us have benefited because, they were doing their work for quite some time. They were getting a X number of hits on their site or accounts through them. Suddenly they have seen that it is doubled or more than doubled. So there's a benefit in this part of the industry.
Yeah, it's very surprising how people started shifting from in terms of getting into from what we call the fear to financial freedom. You know, this is an equilibrium. You know, on one side you have fear, and the second side is financial freedom. So you always try to move from this to this, and sometimes it goes vice versa also, because you thought that this was right for you and it doesn't work. And we see in franchising all the time this happens. People come with some aspirations, sometimes investing into business. They don't understand that business well, and they get disappointed, and that should be taken care. So, but fundamentally, any fear which could come would always have a response from humans. You know, they would like to find themselves in a little more comfortable environment, and this time around everybody had only one fear of losing. Obviously health was one, but obviously losing their jobs or losing their businesses, losing the entire thing. So everybody looked at doing something for their financial freedom. And financial freedom, especially in the stock market for younger people, as you said, looks much easier, because they can, one, entry level is low. They can really start at a very small investment. You can invest at 5,000 rupees and get start trading, and at least it's more creative than spending on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes, true. Yeah, very rightly said. I think, being into the community, I can certainly say that for young people, that you're absolutely right. You know, for young people, they feel it's a dry industry. You know, there would not be anything much that they can do. But I think this would open up doors for all of them, because they're looking at a stepping stone, you know, to start somewhere. So I think it's a very interesting sector to be in. And I think last 4 months, as you said, that, you know, they've been important for this industry, and it tells that ultimately human beings would come back to saving no matter what, or they would come back to something that gives them better returns in future no matter what. So I think that's a very, very interesting thing for, you know, those young entrepreneurs who fear getting into it because they don't have a background on it. But I think it's taking a step towards it.
I think it helps if you're not having a background. I certainly feel, because, you know, if you see the world of startups in India, all the successful startups are built by people who did not have a background, who are not industry veterans. You know, so that's a case study. So it helps if you're not from the industry, if you don't have the background, it helps, because you come from a very different perspective. You see the problem which an insider can't see. You see an opportunity which an insider can't see. You come from a perspective, because we are insider, we all are bogged down by our so-called experience, or the knowledge, or whatever we've achieved. So we are bogged down with what we have a way of thinking. These young entrepreneurs and anyone who's not from industry will have a very different perspective. So I think it is very good that you don't have experience about broking or finance in this. There are high chances you'll be successful.
Oh, that's a very interesting take, and I'm sure fewer fresh entrepreneurs will be very happy to hear that. I'm also very happy to populate that thing, that if you have a virgin mind, that really helps you take through good things. Very interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anything from you've been into franchising. I understand that earlier also, before 5paisa, you've been into financial sector and primarily into franchising. So what best practices you feel? I'm sure you've spent about 15 years into this. What, according to you, are best practices in franchising? If you can list down probably 2-3 things that you really feel should be there.
So, no, that's a difficult question to answer, because my experience of franchising was always brick and mortar. So I come from a background, my father had a franchise. So, I come from that background, but it was all, brick and mortar. So the challenges of brick and mortar is very different. I mean, you need to be focusing on cost, and always be cost conscious, and try and engage with your customers, and call your customers, and execute trades. So that was different. I think today the most important thing in an online world for a franchisee or for a partner is to be relevant. You need to be relevant with your so-called consumers or your target audience. If I have a website, so what are the options for a partner? Either you have a website, or you have a social media channel, or you are there online, but everything else that you do is offline. So, I have my community of friends and relatives, and then I do it. But you need to be relevant. Relevant in terms of what you give to your consumers, what problems you're trying to solve. If you are a research analyst, or you are giving an advice, then that advice have to perform well. But what is more important is how relevant you are. If you are not, then it is not going to work for you. You're not going to survive for a longer time, because the competition is intense. See, if I live in an earlier era, if I am living in a part of Bombay, everything is offline. So whom am I catering to? I'm catering to people who are living in my vicinity. They also have a limited option, because they also know only 2, 3, 5, 4 people who are also living in that vicinity. But today, it's an open world. I Google, I get to know what is happening across the globe. So the competition is intense. So you need to be absolutely good in what you do, always stay relevant, and keep up coming with new things. I can't live with my laurels that, I created a website, I did fantastic 2 years back. No, I have to be working 24 hours even now, create something new on, because I'm not competing with someone who's staying next door. I'm competing with someone who's staying somewhere in some deep Africa. So I'm competing with everyone. So the times have changed and the challenges have changed.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to maintain the change cycle. The change cycles are becoming more and more challenging.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I also understand, that you're very fond of street food. So how are you managing that craving? Having said that, you can't really go out and eat that anymore.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge, So what we did is I told my wife and my mother to make things. And if you're in Bombay, what you crave more is pav bhaji or vada pav and all those street foods. So those though it is not healthy, but at least I try, and I've asked my wife to make sometimes. Though it is not as good as it gets to the street, but that's what I'm. That's the compensation. But I don't know when you're going to start.
Yeah,
but I'm sure every Mumbaiker will miss that.
Yes. Even people like us who are not Mumbaikars, and I'm sure Bhai can comment on it more, because his second town is Bombay. Practically lives there half of the month.
Oh.
I used to. Now I can only chat on this entire thing. But yes, obviously we love the city and we like the street food of Mumbai. So it's nothing can beat that. So
absolutely
nothing in the country can beat this. And it has also, and Mumbai particularly as one city which has food from all over. While it looks like that, so it has so much of diversity. And good part is that even the richest would not mind going and picking up something from the street and eating out that entire thing. So it doesn't really have a cultural divide or this divide. So it's a phenomenal city.
So I'm at least confident that one industry will be back on its feet the moment it starts. And rather it will compensate for 3 months, because like people like me who are craving will go out immediately and have it. That industry is going to survive.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the F&B guys will be very happy to hear that. So I also understand that you're you completely appreciate movies and you would want to kind of spend your time on it. So I would be very direct in asking it. What's your take on something like a Bazaar or a Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, these are very, very well made movies. And, both the movies, obviously, because it's a movie, you need to be dramatic. You need to show maybe some wrong side or some other side of business, but it is put well. And especially when I see, Wolf of Wall Street, and it talks about greed. So to satisfy your greed and to make money in a shortest possible time, you then take the shortcuts, which ends up you being in jail or out of business or even die. So but what it talks about is a philosophy, and especially in stock markets. So trading and stock market is very a place where it's very exciting, when there is no other place where you see prices moving up down real time. And suddenly you become like, okay, if I buy something on 100, within a minute, it has gone up to buy 5 rupees. And you calculate that, what if I make 5 rupees, which is 5% a day? I'll make what, 150% a month? I mean, oh my God, I'll be the richest guy. And that excites, and the thrill brings people. But what you end up doing is loss. So, so when I see these movies, I mean, they're very well made movies. Especially both Saif Ali Khan here on the Bazaar and Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street, phenomenally done. But what they show is how greed takes everything, but then take you down as well. So very well made, but then that's a learning for investors. Let's stay away from that.
Yes, true. Absolutely. I think consistency and work is important, but greed, sometimes takes on to you. So you should know when to stop.
Yeah.
So I think, that's something which is interesting to take on there. So
and you should be hungry, not greedy. Hunger is important. Greed is not.
True. That's a good take. So, we'll, because we're nearing to the time, so, just last pointers from your side. What would you like to add something, or, you would like to say something for our audience?
I think, my like parting thoughts would be like, see, we are living in a very uncertain times, very difficult times, but every difficult time is an opportunity. And this is not something that I am telling, it has been ages. And we've all seen that the biggest businesses, the biggest entrepreneurs, the success stories across world has been when people have been pushed to the corner with no choice left. And that's where they start their journey. And that's where they create multi-billion-dollar organizations, or a good, entrepreneur. There are big entrepreneurs who come, or success stories in terms of creating wealth has come to. We are in that, and it's an unprecedented time. So let's not get bogged down with what is happening. Take it as an opportunity. That when you start, you will have less competition, you will have more opportunities, right? You need to scout for opportunities, and you will get it. And because the world want to come on its feet, there will be business available, there will be money available, everything will be there. So that's the right time to start your business. Either associate with a brand or do your own business. But it's a right time to start business, to become an entrepreneur. I mean, there is nothing that you can lose further. And when you have nothing to lose, the only thing that is left is to gain.
Absolutely. And I completely second your thought. There is a huge opportunity, and opportunities are best in adversity. And I always say, even for companies and brands like yours, which are aggressive in the market, they would change the way business would be done. And I think whenever the market shrink, market share should not. Market share should still go up. And which we saw, even the larger market share for stock market has gone up. It's more spread now. People might not be spending that kind of money, but eventually all these people you acquired, which are young and at 26 and 27, one day they will be 40 and they'll have a lot of money with them. And the same Demat account which they opened up with you, they would start putting more dollar in that. So I think you're doing what McDonald's done, going more younger and younger. But if you start eating very young, like Mr. Trump did, eating burger very, very young, now he still eats sitting in White House.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Great. So it's like catching them young and become one of their good habits to be followed consistently. Absolutely. A very great idea. So, I had, absolute interesting session today, and understood, how much clarity do you have about your work. And I'm sure, with that clarity and a fixed goal, things would be in a better shape every day. So I think that's very interesting. And thank you so much for being here with us, Prakarsh. It was absolutely wonderful.